Once upon a time, in a quiet little town where the stars sparkled gently each night, there lived a kind and imaginative girl named Lara. Lara had a best friend named Sophia, and they were the closest of friends. They played together every day, drawing pictures, making up stories, and laughing until their bellies hurt. Everyone knew they were besties, and they loved spending time together more than anything. One evening, when the moon glowed softly in the sky, Lara invited Sophia over for a sleepover. They laid out their blankets, cuddled their favorite stuffed animals, and whispered secrets long after the lights were turned off. Soon their voices faded, and together they drifted into a peaceful sleep. As Lara slept, she found herself in the most wondrous dream. She was standing in a field of glowing flowers that pulsed with gentle light, their colors shifting like a soft rainbow. Butterflies with wings like stained glass fluttered around her, their tiny trails of light sparkling in the air. The sky above wasn't dark, but a deep, velvety blue filled with swirling galaxies and constellations that moved like graceful dancers. In the distance, a crystal river flowed, its water shimmering with captured starlight. Lara felt a sense of pure joy and wonder. This was a world made of dreams, more beautiful than anything she had ever imagined. She walked towards the river, her feet barely touching the soft, mossy ground. As she got closer, she saw a figure standing by the water's edge. It was Sophia. She was wearing a dress made of moonlight and holding a small glowing star in her hands. Sophia smiled, and her smile was as bright as the star she held. "Lara, you're here. Isn't this place amazing?" Sophia's voice was like a gentle melody. Lara ran to her and gave her a big hug. "It's incredible, Sophia. Did you create all of this?" Sophia nodded, her eyes twinkling. "In my dreams, I can create anything I want. And since you're my best friend, I wanted you to see it too." Together, they explored this magical dream world. They rode on the backs of giant, friendly dragonflies that soared through the swirling nebulas. They tasted fruits that grew on crystal trees, each one bursting with flavors of stardust and honey. They discovered a hidden cave behind a waterfall of liquid light, and inside, the walls were covered in sparkling gems that sang a soft, humming tune. Lara felt happier than she had ever been. Sharing this magical adventure with Sophia made it even more special. "I wish we could stay here forever," Lara whispered as they sat on a cloud, watching the dream stars dance. Sophia squeezed her hand. "We can come back anytime we want as long as we dream together." But as they played, a strange feeling began to creep into the dream. A small, shadowy creature, no bigger than a kitten, appeared at the edge of the glowing field. It looked sad and lost, its fur the color of a starless night. Everywhere it went, the vibrant colors of the dream world seemed to fade, and the glowing flowers drooped. The butterflies hid, and the crystal river's light dimmed. A quiet sadness began to spread through the air. Lara and Sophia watched as the little shadow creature curled up into a ball, letting out a tiny whimpering sound. It looked so lonely and afraid. The beautiful dream was starting to feel heavy and gray. Sophia, ever so brave, walked slowly toward the little shadow. "What's wrong, little one?" she asked softly. The creature looked up, its eyes two small points of shimmering silver. It didn't speak, but a feeling of loneliness washed over them. It was the feeling of being left out, of having no one to play with. Lara realized that the shadow wasn't mean. It was just incredibly lonely. It had seen their beautiful dream and felt sad because it had no one to share its own dreams with. Lara's heart filled with compassion. She walked over and sat down next to Sophia. "You don't have to be alone," Lara said, her voice gentle. "You can be our friend." She reached out her hand, not to touch the creature but as a sign of welcome. Sophia did the same, holding out her glowing star as an offering. The little shadow creature looked at their outstretched hands, then at their kind faces. Slowly, hesitantly, it uncurled. It took a tiny step forward, then another. As it came closer, the shadows around it began to recede. A little bit of color returned to the flowers nearby. The creature nudged Sophia's hand with its nose, and the star she was holding glowed even brighter, casting a warm light that enveloped the small creature. It didn't become colorful, but its shadowy form became less dense, more like a soft, gentle mist. With their new friend, the dream world began to transform again. But this time it was different. It wasn't just bright and happy, it was also peaceful and calm. The shadow creature, who they decided to call Inkdrop, loved to play hide-and-seek among the darker, quieter parts of the dream. It showed them how to listen to the soft whispers of the wind and how to find beauty in the quiet, starlit corners of their world. Inkdrop taught them that even sadness and loneliness had a place, and that by acknowledging them, you could make them less scary. The dream became richer, a perfect balance of light and shadow, joy and peace. The three of them played together, their laughter mixing with the soft hum of the gem cave and the gentle flow of the crystal river. As the dream sky began to lighten, signaling that morning was near, Sophia and Lara knew it was time to wake up. They looked at Inkdrop, who was now chasing its own misty tail in a happy circle. "Will we see you again?" Lara asked. Inkdrop nodded, and a feeling of warmth and gratitude filled the air. It was a promise. Sophia gave Lara another hug. "See, dreams are better when we share them," she said with a smile. Lara agreed. The dream wasn't just about beautiful things. It was about friendship, kindness, and understanding. It was about welcoming everyone, even those who seemed different or sad. With a final wave to Inkdrop, Lara felt herself gently floating upwards, away from the glowing fields and swirling galaxies. The beautiful sights of the dream world faded into a soft white light. She slowly opened her eyes. Sunlight was streaming through her bedroom window and birds were chirping outside. For a moment she felt a little sad that the dream was over. But then she looked over and saw Sophia sleeping peacefully beside her, a contented smile on her face. The memory of their incredible adventure was still vivid in her mind: the crystal river, the stained glass butterflies, and their new friend, Inkdrop. It felt so real. Lara gently shook Sophia's shoulder. "Sophia, wake up," she whispered. Sophia stirred and blinked her eyes open. "Lara, I just had the most amazing dream." Lara's eyes widened. Was it in a field of glowing flowers, with a crystal river? Sophia sat up, her face a picture of astonishment. "Yes, and you were there. And we met a little shadow creature named Inkdrop." They stared at each other for a moment, and then burst into excited laughter. They had shared the very same dream. It wasn't just a dream. It was an adventure they had truly been on together. The magic of their friendship was so strong that it had connected them even in their sleep, allowing them to build a world of wonders side by side. From that day on, Lara and Sophia's bond was even stronger. They knew they had a secret, magical world that belonged just to them, a place they could visit whenever they dreamed. They continued to draw, tell stories, and laugh together in the waking world. But now their games were filled with new inspiration from their shared dreamscape. They drew pictures of Inkdrop playing among the crystal trees and wrote stories about riding giant dragonflies through swirling galaxies. Their friendship was a universe of its own, full of light, shadow, and endless adventures, proving that the greatest magic of all is the magic you share with a true friend. And every now and then, on nights when the moon glowed just right, they would fall asleep and find themselves back in their dream world, where Inkdrop was always waiting to play. And they knew as long as they had each other, their dreams would always be full of wonder and their hearts would always be full of joy. Thank you so much for watching this magical story with us. We hope it filled your heart with warmth and wonder. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more enchanting tales. We love sharing these stories with you. See you next time.